Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of the Ohio Guys, here on location at Anime Midwest in Rosemont, Illinois, and I'm here with none other than Dave Trosko. How are you doing this afternoon?
I'm terrific. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. It's a blast, but oh my gosh, it's so much fun. What was it like working in the industry today?
So, in the industry today, it's bigger than it's ever been before. The anime industry is blowing up. We've got so many things going on, especially at Funimation. We've got the capability of doing almost 18 shows a season now, which is something that we've never done before. So the broadcast dub thing is really, really cool. It's really taking off, and it's providing a lot of work for local actors. It's providing work for actors like me and also directors like me too. So we're having a lot of fun.
Because you just got started into directing now.
I did. I just got started directing this year. I've been only directing for 3 seasons now. I directed All Out, which was the first show that I ever did, and that ran for 2 seasons. And currently I am directing Seven Mortal Sins, which is probably absolutely fun time directing that show. It's such a great show.
Yep. And speaking about All Out, what was it like performing on the show?
Working in All Out was interesting too. I originally wasn't going to cast myself in the show at all, but we got to the point where there's 75 different reoccurring roles in the show. So it was we ran out of people. So I took the role of Yoshida, who was the instructor, thinking that he was going to have 1 episode and then be done. It turns out he ends up, joining the ranks, and he's in a couple episodes. Not a very large role, but I took a smaller role in there. He was a lot of fun to play. There's my favorite episode, though. I think it's around episode. It's close to the end, maybe episode 20 or so, where he goes out with Komori and gets drunk. And I had to play drunk in the booth, and that was a lot of fun. And directing myself in the show was definitely a challenge and interesting. And I think I was harder on myself in the booth than I was on any of the other actors in there.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I think that really would apply to anyone, really, because even for us, even in this interview, I'm my biggest critic. Yeah, and so far in your work, what is your most favorite show that you've worked on so far?
Oh man, there are so many. I've been doing anime for 14 years now with Funimation. I've been in several shows, a lot of small roles throughout the time. I took a little hiatus for about 5 to 6 years to do I'm actually a chef, or I was a chef for a while. So I did that for a long time, and I came back to anime and gave up that to start directing at Funimation. My favorite show that I've been in, man, probably I really enjoyed Hetalia. That was a lot of fun. Spain was a great character, and we get a lot of love for that. But I think ultimately my favorite show watching and acting and being in was definitely Seraph of the End. I got to play Guren Ichinose in that. And that show actually got my whole family together. My wife and my son, we'd watch the show together whenever it aired as a broadcast dub. I absolutely loved that show. I loved the character. It had such depth, and the show itself was just a really, really cool show.
It's really good.
It's action-packed. It's got everything in it. Yeah.
And also, what was it like working on 91 Days?
91 Days was fun too. Tyler Walker was the director for that one, and he called me one night and asked if I could do an Italian accent, and then he ended up casting me in the role of Ronaldo, who was the jerky redheaded stepchild guy. It was a lot of fun. That's Chris.
But you aren't here, so this message is irrelevant.
Yep. And that is Chris Rager, everyone. Yeah,
that's awesome. No, but 91 Days was a lot of fun. It was really cool playing that gangsta Italian guy, Ronaldo. You don't get to do that every day. It was pretty fun.
Oh yeah, definitely would be a lot of fun to do.
Yeah.
And for another show that you did acting for, what was it like working on Seven Mortal Sins?
Actually, I didn't act in that one. I'm directing that one currently. But yeah, Seven Mortal Sins, it's been the biggest challenge that I've ever had. because as a Christian and as a conservative guy, I had a little struggle with this show because of the material. It's very racy and stuff. So what we did as a production team and talking with the female actors who are in the show, we basically set a standard and saying, like, when we're doing this show, we're going to take the show super seriously, and I want everyone to push themselves and do something that they're uncomfortable with in the booth. So we really made it like it was a learning process for them and a learning process for me. We have brand new actresses in there. Nicole Endicott's brand new. Ella Davis is brand new. Annabelle Thorne, brand new actress. They're all terrific. Follow them all on Twitter. You can find them all. They're terrific people, great voice actresses. So that was the challenge within themselves. And then we added accents and dialects to all of these characters to really help them embody the sin that they were portraying, because there's all the 7 sins. And they've just done such an incredible job. They work so hard bringing the voices for those characters and really bringing the show to life. And I think the dub has just turned out beautifully because everyone has pushed themselves to the limit. And we got our little hell spawns, little Mammon's babies wearing the horns, totally representing 7 mortal sins. It's a terrific show. If you haven't watched it and you're over the age of 18, you should definitely check it out.
Yep, check it out, everyone. And also, throughout your discography and the work you've done, if you could be any character you want for one day, who would you be? And you can mix and match.
I definitely would want to be Gurren, because he's such a tortured individual, but he's so cool. He's so smooth and suave, and he would, that would be awesome. But let's see, there's got to be another one out there. Spain would be fun to be for a day, but he's just so flamboyant.
Yeah. Maybe a little too much attention.
A little too much attention. I was, in my real life, in Orange, I played Hagita, and that's like me in real life. Yeah. Like, so if you want to know who I am, watch Orange. I was the nerdy guy who knew all about black holes and quantum physics and would eat lunch in the library by himself. Like, I was Hagita, so when I got that role, I was like, this is me! Yeah. I don't have to do it. And I'm always the sarcastic, snarky one, too, so.
Yeah, and also, what was it like performing on Izetta the Last Witch?
Izetta was fun. Kyle Phillips, who actually shares Studio G with me, where we record 7 Mortal Sins and All Out. Kyle Phillips cast me as Edward, who was kind of like the right-hand man of Brandon Potter's character, the Emperor. It was a fun show. It was a rather small role, but we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun doing outtake tracks for that show, which unfortunately we can't air, but the outtakes were choice.
Okay. And also, what was it like to perform on Seraph of the End? One of my favorites.
Seraph of the End was so much fun. Jerry Jewell was the director there, and Jerry and I have, at least I think, we have a very special relationship.
Jerry's a lot of fun.
He is such a blast to work with. He and I share a very similar sense of humor, so recording with him was just a jewel. And so he did Orange as well, and we just had fun in Orange and Seraph of the End. Seraph of the End was probably one of my biggest roles to take on. Gurren was he was a challenge because he was a little bit lower in my register. I normally talk a little higher, but he was a little bit lower, kind of down. I'd have to do all of my recording early in the morning when I had my deeper, sleepy voice down. But he, such a great character, so much fun to play. The inspiration, Jerry was, the direction he gave me was like, he needs to be like a cool Han Solo type character. So I was trying to channel a little bit of Harrison Ford in there without, doing an impression of Harrison Ford.
One show that was a lot of fun to watch, what was it like working on Vampire Reign?
Vampire Reign, part of the Seraph of the End thing, that was terrific. It was a lot of fun.
And another classic that's one of my personal favorites, what was it like working on School Rumble?
School Rumble. So that was probably my first bigger role as Immador, first reoccurring role with Funimation. It was years ago. I was in college, And Brina Palencia was the director, and she's like, I cast you as the pervert. And I said, perfect. I was 19 or 18 years old at the time. I'm like, I'm just your typical college perv, so it makes perfect sense. But yeah, Imadori was a blast. Such a funny character. Such a funny character to play. And I loved it. There was one episode where I got to like dress up like a woman as Imadori. I think it was in season 2.
Yeah.
And that was fun. Channeled my inner Nathan Lane to be this woman. And Nathan Lane in Birdcage. You ever seen the movie Birdcage? It's like, I'm Liza. Yeah. It was really cool.
Yeah, and for our fans tuning in, is there any way for them to get a hold of you?
Absolutely. You can follow me on Twitter at Dave Trosko. Very simple. I'm the only Dave Trosko out there. Actually, there's one more. He's a financial advisor, but, you know. I'm the only voice acting Dave Trosko there is. At Dave Trosko on Twitter. I'm on Instagram as Troskologist, because I'm a scientist. I'm not a Scientologist. I'm a scientist. It's like I almost said Scientologist. I'm not a Scientologist. Nope. No Scientology here. But Troskologist is the Instagram. Facebook, you can find me, but I tend to be a little more selective with the Facebook thing. Definitely check me out on Twitter, at Dave Trosko. We do live tweets every weekend for 7 Mortal Sins, and any other new shows that we've got coming up, we'll be doing live tweets there. This coming Sunday, though, not this Sunday, but next Sunday, the 16th, we're doing a live talk back with the actors and myself at Torchy's Tacos in Dallas, Texas, and we will be giving away a couple things, so definitely tune in to that.
Yep, so if you're in the area, guys, better go attend. Yep, and is there anything that will be recently coming up or that will be coming out soon that you can plug in for the fans at this time?
Well, the one thing that I can plug in is a couple more episodes of Seraph of the End before the next summer season starts. We do have a summer season lined up at Funimation. It should be an awesome season. And be ready for the announcement of what show I'll be directing in the summer season at Funimation.
Yep. I'm David.
And I'm Dave.
And thanks for tuning in to the Ohio Guys, everyone. See you next time.
See ya.